So the focus is to try to create an affordable home gym. Having weights, kettlebells, barbells, all those things are really beneficial. That's ideal, but especially right now, it's really challenging to find them. They're all back ordered. It's going to take months for them to get to your house, and they're pretty expensive. So if you already have them, great. If you can get them, that's awesome. But some people either can't wait that long or can't afford to get a full home gym. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple tools, tricks, things that I use, and everything is under $20. So it's pretty cheap, pretty affordable. In the challenge, we've talked about using a band before, right? So there's a lot of different ways that we can use these bands. I can go through a whole nother video if you want to talk about different exercises using the bands. So we can do upper body stuff, lower body things, core strengthening. There's a lot of things to use the band. So I use Perform Better brand. If you just search it on Amazon, it's really, really, really nice brand. They give you, there's an assortment of like 4 different colors. There's a yellow, a green, a blue, and a black. Normally I start people with the yellow and the green. The green is still pretty tight. I get a pretty good stimulus with the green. I go up to the blue though, now just after doing it for a while. But you can get one color of each, so all 4 of them for $18, which is a pretty good deal. Or you can get 10 of one color for like $25. So I normally buy sets of 10 because I hand these out to clients when I see them. But if you want to get 10 in case you break some or share them with a friend, if you go on with a friend to do this, that's an easy way to get them pretty cheap. Otherwise, $18 to get each color along that progression, which will last you a pretty long time. As long as they don't snap and break, which they will wear down. You'll notice eventually the tension in the band isn't quite as much as it used to be. So eventually they will kind of dissipate with how fatiguing and challenging it can be. We've used this for a lot of sidestepping exercises. So if I go back here, hopefully both cameras can see, put these around my feet, right? And then I can do the sidestepping here. I can also do forward monster walks and backwards. There's a lot of things you can do with the upper body here. So if I am here and I use the wall, so you can see I can do a lot of these reaching activities, right? I can do some planks and reaching, a lot of different things on the floor using the band. You can use them for clamshells, leg lifts, whatever, a lot of hip exercises. So these are really, really nice tools. The nice thing, I think, easy to take anywhere. You can throw it in your backpack, take it with you after a run, finish up on the trail on the roads, do this before you get in the car. It's a really, really easy place to get stuff done, easy thing to use, and it's relatively cheap. Another thing that people like doing is using TheraBand. So TheraBand is not looped like this. This is called a mini band. I like mini bands a little bit more. The TheraBand is a little bit more versatile. So they come normally in rolls. You can cut them and make. I don't have any with me here today, but you can cut them and you can make loops out of it. You can tie knots and put them in the wall. So they're really good for some upper body stuff. I don't use them as much for the running population, but for those you can get like 3 5-foot bands for like $13. Pretty good deal, pretty cheap from that standpoint. Okay, so the next most expensive thing to use are going to be called these monster bands, kind of these pull-up assist bands. So I use these a lot, especially in the clinic. If you have a basement that's got like that center pole that you can wrap this around, using things outside to wrap these around is really, really, really nice. Basketball hoop, things like that. Gives you a nice little anchor point. But these are great to be able to do squats with, deadlifts. We can do a lot of core exercises, especially with these lighter ones. And if we have a bar, we're going to get to the PVC pipe back here. We can add a little bit more versatility with these. So I'm a really, really big fan of these. Again, they're small. I can throw this in a backpack, take it with me. This can help me get a lot of warm-up activities in. So if I want to do some like banded good mornings, with this one, I probably would use them for the other one. But if I put the band across underneath my feet, over my head, I can do some banded good mornings, warm up those hips, kind of get that deadlift motion in. The heavier band is a little bit better for that. Go here, measure that up. Good. And you can get a little bit more that way. So you can use these for a lot of squat, deadlift type movements. Pricing wise, you can get 2 of these. These are Rogue. These are a little bit pricier just from the brand name. You can get 2 of these for 20 bucks. It's a pretty decent, good deal. This one's a little bit more expensive. It's probably about 1 for 25, which still isn't terrible. I've had these for a year and a half, 2 years maybe, probably 2 years. And they're still both in really good condition. I don't beat the crap out of them, so I'm not going through them that quickly. They do get this kind of weird residue on them, so you have to kind of wash your hands or wash the hands a little bit. But the thing I like to pair these with is a PVC pipe. So you don't have a barbell, go to a hardware store. This PVC pipe that's written on here was $1.40 for basically like a 4-foot high PVC pipe. This is something that's nice to use for, you can do some manual stuff with this from a therapy standpoint. I have people use either a broomstick or a dowel PVC pipe, but we can do a lot of things combining these 2 exercises. So let me show you a couple things. We know, a lot of us know what a deadlift is, right? We've gone through the single leg deadlift previously where we're doing a little more downs exercise like that. But we can do an actual kind of barbell deadlift using this. So basically what I did is I looped the band on top here, put the band on the floor, and now I'm stepping on it. So now, when I go down, I've got a deadlift here. So instead of having a barbell and having weights, I've just got a band and a piece of PVC, and I can do this. I can also put the weight on here. If I get here into a half kneeling lunge position, you can get into a front rack, and you can do split squats. Right? So instead of having a barbell and having some weights, you can do that. If you want to do some upper body stuff, I would put the bar here again. I can do some bent over rows. Come as far as you want. Bent over rows, working some back, upper body. Some people like doing bicep curl. You can do those as well. So there's a lot of different things, activities that you can use these for. Basically, most things that you can do with a barbell and weights, you can make to put into this. But this costs you, I mean, you get 2 of these for 20 bucks, so 10 bucks a piece, and this is like $1.50. So really cheap, really affordable to really get a pretty good workout in, and a total body workout, right? We were able to do some deadlifts, we can do some split squat, front rack positions, we can do a lot of rowing, some working back, some arms, some bicep curls, a lot of different things. Be really creative with this. So again, pretty cheap, right? I'd say right here, the first 3 things. We got a band. You can buy 1 of each of these. So you can get 10 of these for 25 bucks, $2.50 a piece, or you can get 1 of each color for 18. So we're talking like less than $5 a piece for that. $1.50, 10 bucks. So pretty good workout, which is these 3 pieces of equipment, which is pretty good stuff. So under 20 bucks for just 3 pieces of equipment. The next thing that I really want to get, I don't have yet, but I haven't been in the hardware store recently, which is why I don't have it. Next time I go to Menards or Home Depot, I'll be getting a cinder block. So a cinder block, again, another $1.50 to get 1 cinder block. We'll be doing some step downs, some step ups. That's an awesome piece of equipment to be able to just have a nice little block that you can step up on. Go through your single leg squats off the edge of that. It's also something that you can use as a weight, right? You do a lot of front rack goblet squat things with that. There's a lot of marching activities you can do with it. It's just a really versatile piece of equipment that you can use as weight, but you can also stand on, right? You can jump onto it, it's sturdy. You can do box jumps onto it, single leg box jumps. You can do elevated hamstring bridges on that, step ups, step downs, a lot of different things with a cinder block, which is $1.50. So really cheap. If you get really daring, you can buy 2 of them, right? You can hold those and have kind of farmer carry. You can have 1 in each arm here, doing some marches. So it's another easy way to use it. And that costs $1.50. So really cheap. Don't need to go out and get a bunch of crazy equipment for that. The next two things I'm going to show you are things that I'm just reusing. So one is a backpack. Another one, this is a binder I have at PT school. And this is neuro, yeah, a lot of neuro balance and stimular stuff here. So I've got a lot of textbooks, whether we're talking about books from undergraduate, books from leisure, books from PT school, grad school, a lot of books and a backpack. So all I do is I put the books into the backpack, you get a weight, right? So instead of buying a 35-pound kettlebell for 50 bucks, you can get 30, 20 pounds or whatever of weight into your backpack. And then you can just hold that here as your kettlebell. And the nice thing you can do here is you can also wear the backpack on the front. So it can be like a weight vest. If you're doing step ups, you don't want your hands free to be able to kind of get into those running positions. Or you can wear it on your back, like you're supposed to do. So I think I have 20 pounds in here. I'll show you what's in here and the next thing that you can get. But I've got books kind of all over business storage, things that I've used in the past, things that some of my clients will use. We don't want to go out and buy. Kettlebells are really, really nice, right? We do kettlebell swings with these sometimes. We have to go light because it's too heavy. We have a chance of breaking the bag or the weight's coming out and just a lot of issues that way. But if you can't get a kettlebell, right, you want to spend 50, 75 bucks on a pretty heavy kettlebell, you can just use a backpack with some books and get my chair back. What I've done, I'm putting here, I've gone to garage sales and I found all the weights. So I have an assortment of just like random weights. This is about 2.5s. I've got some 10s in here and some 5s. They got 30 pounds in here total. So I've just got some old weights that some of these are from a garage sale that was nearby, and I got them really, really, really cheap. Some of them are from my parents' house. Growing up, we had a weight bench kind of with those twist on. Instead of the collars that kind of clip on, we had the twist on collars, so they don't use it anymore. I took some of those weights. I think I've got like 50 or 60 pounds of weights like this sitting in the garage. So I've got 30 of it here that I use for some strength training, and I've got more there if I need to. Challenge is you gotta have a backpack that's sturdy enough to withstand that. So sometimes you've gotta up the game with your backpack, get a bigger duffel bag, one that you can carry, wear over your shoulder, just to add a little bit more weight. So that's a nice way to use this. If you haven't seen, I've got some videos up of how I use my dog and my son. So that's another way to add, to just be versatile with some weight training. And for me, it's nice to make it fun. So I don't have to take time away from playing with my boy. I can just say, like, it's playtime, we're having fun. He doesn't realize that me putting him on my shoulders and doing some squats with him, and we're just basically, he calls it bopping up and down, like he goes to school, bop, 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 bop. For me, it's just fun. So it's something fun we can do. Put him on my knee, and I can do some things up and down calf raises. There's a lot of fun things that we can do. Me throwing him up in the air and catching him can be kind of a squat to a press position. A lot of different things. My dog's 75 pounds, so I've carried her and I've done some squats with her before too. This is challenging. Not everybody has kids that are small enough. Not everybody has dogs that either will let them lift them up. My dog is pretty tolerant, which is nice, or that are heavy enough or too heavy. But for me, that's something that I've got at home, right? And it's a way for me to incorporate some strength training, things that are beneficial for me from a mental health, from a strength standpoint, from a performance standpoint, injury prevention. I hate that word, but reducing my risk of injury, but also incorporate that into enjoying some time with my son. So those are nice ways to be able to add some weight to it. So make sure you don't have to go out and get a bunch of things. Use what you have at home, right? Figure out if you get some textbooks, a backpack, maybe you got some old weights like that thrown around, but you don't have a barbell. Or you just want to throw them in a backpack and you can do some light things on the stairs. You get a cinder block, right? Easy thing to stand on, to be able to do some step downs, step ups. You can use that as the edge to be able to put your feet up on. You can hold that for some weight. See if you want to get a PVC pipe, $1.25, $1.50, whatever. I would get 4 to 5 feet probably. Another thing you can do with this, we talked about this earlier in the week, but it's using it here to work on your deadlift mechanics, right? Keeping your back in contact and up and down. right? So it's another nice way to have here. Get some bands. I would highly recommend some of these. I use Perform Better, use whatever you really want. These are just ones that I have gravitated towards. I have good luck with them. They don't snap me too often. The yellow ones will sometimes if you're strong enough. They can just break through the band here, but the green ones and blue ones have been really, really good. So those are most of the things. The last thing is one of these guys, so foam roller. So I have a trigger point, small one, travel size, because when I was competing in college, it was nice to be able to throw on our duffel bag strap, fit in a duffel bag, it was easy to carry with us. I prefer actually the full body ones because you can do a lot of spine things with those. They're just a little bit more versatile. This one's easy for travel, so that's why I got it. But if you want to go on Amazon, you can get a nice black one, be high density for $15. Pretty easy. You can also use some tennis balls or lacrosse balls or racket balls or whatever. Field hockey balls, one of my favorite, for some kind of stealth massage, soft tissue work for the recovery aspect. So $15 for that. This here is $1.50. This or $1.40 is what they charge me. That's what they're running here, $1.40. Bands, you can get one of each color for $18. You can get 10 of a color for about $25. You can get 2 of these for $20. You can get a backpack, probably for free. I probably have one of these at home that's sitting around that you're not using. Use that as your strength training backpack. The weights inside I got cheap at a garage sale. I can't even tell you how much I paid for them. Some of them are from garage sales, some of them are from my parents' house. Textbooks, those weren't cheap. They were very expensive. But this binder, it doesn't weigh a ton. But these are all things that you're reusing, right? Instead of throwing it away, you just throw it in a backpack and use it for some strength. So a lot of things that you can use. Be creative. If you've got questions on any of these things, where to find them, how to use them. We can do more videos about how to use some things. I can go through a little bit more with the PVC pipe and the weights that way. But let me know. I would say, trying to get overload, trying to get some sort of weight or resistance with the band is going to be beneficial. Body weight stuff, if you're new to strength training, is going to get you to a point, and then you're going to plateau. And if you're not going to reap the benefits that you would from overloading. We know from training, right? If we train 2 or 3 days a week, we're not going to get any better. We're going to get better to a point if we've done nothing, but then we're going to kind of plateau and stay there. Our body thrives on stimulus. So you need new stimulus to create change, right? Our body kind of spreads that gap, builds up to that new tolerance. You need new stimulus on top of it, new stimulus, and continue to adapt. So if you aren't using weights or progressing resistance, you're going to improve to a point if you're pretty raw with the movements and new with the strength training, but then you're going to plateau. So we've got to try to incorporate some of this stuff. And I would do it slowly. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff right away. That's where using this list of things is a nice thing to kind of spread that, can span that gap of not doing anything to doing something. Eventually, the best thing to do is to get a squat rack and to be able to use a barbell for deadlifts and squats and things like that, because you're going to need that weight. You're going to need 100 pounds. You're going to need 150 pounds, up to 200 pounds or whatever for the resistance and for the adaptation phase to take place. But for now, if you're new, use what you got, and let's gradually kind of build that up. I think we got one viewer. What's up? We're just finishing up, so sorry about that. But use what you got, try to add these things in, and then we'll continue to progress from there. So if there's any questions, I think this will post, but I don't know how good the quality is because the webcam's kind of messed up. So I'm going to post my Zoom recording in there as well, just as a backup. If you guys want to watch that or listen to that, and let me know how things sound. Let me know if you can get any of this equipment. If there are any questions about how to use any of the equipment. Alrighty? All right. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you guys again soon.